Sheltered are supposed to leave Houska Park by midnight.
You're watching WKBT La Crosse. This is News 8 Now at 5.
Good evening and thanks for watching us tonight at 5. I'm Amy DuPont.
And I'm Ken Kozarowski. In just a few hours, Houska Park's campground permit will expire. Unsheltered people are expected to leave the park by midnight.
But as of now, there's many tents and unsheltered people still in the park. News 8 Now's Duis Rar spoke to the city's homeless service coordinator who says the city has no immediate plans to move them out.
The city will not forcibly remove any of the unsheltered people, but after midnight the city will shut down water and power. Over the weekend, the city gave the homeless people their final notice. Sampson says the city has been working with community nonprofits, including the Salvation Army and Catholic Charities. Salvation Army's Director of Development, Isaiah Thomas, says roughly 7 people have come to the Salvation Army seeking shelter.
Hasn't been like a huge overflow of individuals, but the space is available, and we're encouraging people who are seeking shelter through the winter months to come this way.
The Salvation Army has a capacity of 50 and are currently at 40 people. Thomas says Salvation Army is offering shelter to those who want to commit to the program. He says people who are looking for a warming shelter will be redirected to Catholic Charities. Sampson says once all the warming shelters reach capacity, La Crosse's Mayor Mitch Reynolds will issue an emergency decree. The Southside Neighborhood and the Northside Policing Center will be used as overflow shelters only during the night.
All right, thanks very much, Dua. And Sampson says there aren't enough dayside shelter spaces in the community, and there's a large likelihood that individuals will be in public and private spaces around La Crosse.
So Sampson says the city will not criminalize homelessness. Tickets will only be issued in cases of trespassing or if a city ordinance is violated.
All right, not a bad start to the week weather-wise. Let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Bill Graw.
Fantastic day across the region for Halloween. 60s for highs, 64 in Eau Claire and Winona, 67 in La Crosse and Black River Falls, 69, almost 70 degrees down in Boscobel. Skies are clear, lots of sunshine, a perfect evening for trick-or-treating. Current temperatures still well into the 60s for most, 67 in La Crosse, 63 in Eau Claire, 64 in Winona, 66 in Sparta, and 65 in Prairie du Chien. So if you're going to head out, again, most communities between about 4 and 8 o'clock for that trick-or-treat time. So even at 6 o'clock, still 60 degrees. By 8 o'clock, still 52 degrees. By the way, the sun sets just before 6 o'clock, so if you want to get the ghosts and goblins out there before it gets dark, do it before then. But otherwise, a spectacular evening for trick-or-treating. Now, overnight, seasonably cool. Maybe some isolated patches of fog, especially in the Wisconsin River Valley, but not as widespread as we saw this morning, mainly because we're going to have a little bit of a breeze from the south at about 5 to 10, but overnight lows in the 30s for most, right around 39 or 40 degrees here in La Crosse. Warm weather for the next several days. Details coming up.
Thank you, Bill.
Now, of course, on this trick-or-treating today, safety is of the utmost priority, and probation and parole agents have been doing checks on homes of registered sex offenders to make sure trick-or-treaters are indeed safe. Department of Correction officials made random stops at homes to make sure offenders don't have any Halloween decorations out, they don't wear a costume, or hand out any candy. Now, this is a yearly check. All sex offenders, not just child sex offenders, have to sign a Halloween contract agreeing to the rules. A probation officer we spoke to says she's been doing this for 20 years and has arrested people for breaking those rules.
Sometimes they feel that it doesn't apply to them and they make a wrong choice and go against the contract. And so, yeah, there's been some custodies over the years. We're hoping tonight that everyone is in compliance.
Good, how are you? Agent Paff says if you see any suspicious activity, call the sex offender safe tip line or call 911 if you feel threatened.
A Black River Falls woman charged with sex crimes involving child pornography is headed to trial. Jennifer Zilmer waived her right to a preliminary hearing today. She's being held in the Jackson County Jail on $4,000 cash. Zilmer's husband Casey is charged with similar crimes. He's being held on $10,000 cash.
At least 36 people want to speak at the sentencing hearing for the man convicted of the Waukesha parade tragedy. On Wednesday, a jury found Darrell Brooks guilty of killing 6 people and injuring dozens of others. Today, the judge moved the date and set aside 2 full days to allow everyone who wants to speak the opportunity. Brooks says 20 people will speak on his behalf. His sentencing is scheduled for November 15th and 16th.
The election just over a week away, and those candidates, they are sprinting towards the finish line. Democratic nominee for Senate Mandela Barnes stopped at the UW La Crosse today to meet with college voters. After Barnes gave a speech, students walked or pedaled to campus polling locations to vote early. Voter mobilization wasn't the only thing on Barnes' mind. In light of the attack on Nancy Pelosi's husband, we asked Barnes if he's concerned about elected officials' safety.
The conversation has gotten so out of control, and it feels as if, there are candidates who just want to not just win the election, they want you to hate the opponent. And that's not the way things should be done.
Barnes also made stops in Viroqua and Eau Claire. He will continue campaigning in Milwaukee on Tuesday.
And of course, candidates aren't the only things to decide on this election season. The discussion of the La Crosse school referendum continues on both sides. This morning, the Vote Yes for La Crosse Schools group held a press conference to get a final word out before November 8th. They discussed many reasons why they will vote yes to consolidating the high schools in La Crosse, from minimal property tax increases to more electives and clubs for students. Group members say that although the two high schools in La Crosse has worked for many years, now is the time for change.
I understand that there is a rich history, but we are one city, and I really believe that together we will be stronger. We will create a better future for our children. And I am excited about our kids being together.
And if you'd like to learn more about the referendum ahead of Election Day, again, November 8th, we will post a link at news8000.com.
A potential relief for families. We might soon get an RSV vaccine. That could happen by next fall. 4 vaccines are nearing FDA review, and more than a dozen others are in testing. There's also work being done on a long-acting injection designed for use right after birth. Even before this year's surge in cases, RSV was the country's leading cause of infant hospitalization. The last therapy approved to fight the virus was back in 1998.
Open enrollment for U.S. healthcare starts tomorrow. The certified navigators at Workforce Connections will help anyone who would like help to enroll. Ahead of open enrollment, the Wisconsin Insurance Commissioner held an event in La Crosse, and he says services offered at Workforce Connections benefit people and families who are navigating this system.
This is the chance for anyone who doesn't have insurance through their employer or through Medicaid or Medicare to look for insurance and sign up for affordable, high-quality health insurance coverage for themselves and their family.
Recent research says the navigators are critical to helping underserved consumers, like adults who speak a language other than English, to access that coverage.
The American Red Cross says it needs your help now more than ever. The nonprofit is recruiting donors of all blood types to keep up with the increased demand of the holiday season. The organization says anyone who donates between tomorrow and November 22nd is going to get a $10 e-gift card. There are many opportunities to donate in our area. You're going to find a link at news8000.com.
And Powerball fever is spreading. People across the nation are hoping they'll win that massive $1 billion jackpot. That is the 5th largest in U.S. history.
So no one has matched all 6 numbers since August. So don't miss out on your chance to beat the odds. The next drawing tonight. And guess what, Ken?
What?
We're going to have those winning numbers right here tonight on News 8 Now.
Fantastic.
At 10.
That's must-watch material.
And
right
when
there.
they come up, and if I win, you'll know, because I'm just going to walk away.
It's totally offset, never to be seen
See
again.
ya. Yeah.
Back to the beach, right?
Exactly, yeah.
Well, still to come tonight at 5, a major Supreme Court case is challenging affirmative action.
The 2 cases that could change college admission practices.
More than 300 murders just last year. Terror at the Waukesha Christmas Parade. But defund the police radical Mandela Barnes still supports eliminating cash bail, releasing dangerous criminals back into our communities. Barnes says,
reducing prison population is now sexy.
Actually, releasing criminals isn't sexy, it's dangerous. Radical Mandela Barnes won't keep your family safe. Senate Leadership Fund is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Blaine's Farm and Fleet's Fall Workwear event is going on now. We're your one-stop shop for quality boots and apparel, offering fair and honest prices on workwear to help your hard-earned dollars go further. Right now, get $25 in Carhartt bucks for every $125 you spend on Carhartt gear, including these men's Carhartt Wedge boots with built-in support for any job site. All Wolverine and Catwork boots are $10 off, and men's Rustler jeans are just $14.99.
The Coulee region has been good to me and my family, and I wanted to give something back. That's why I ran for the state assembly. And I've tried to do good things in Madison for the people of western Wisconsin. Wisconsin is facing a lot of problems today, and we need people who understand how things work. Right now, Wisconsin has a $5 billion surplus. With that surplus, we need to cut taxes. We need to fix our roads, and we need to fund our schools. and we need to do that now.
To everyone who craves a fresh meal, come have a taste of Wisconsin.
America's Dairyland, as in real dairy.
It gives Culver's fresh frozen custard its famous rich and creamy flavor. Like really rich.
So rich.
Rich and creamy.
And our cook-to-order Butterburgers?
They're topped with, you guessed it, Wisconsin cheese. But it's the smiles we put on your face with every meal made just for you.
That really makes our hearts melt.
From Wisconsin with love.
Welcome to Delicious.
Madison insider and career politician Steve Doyle, completely out of touch. Under Doyle's failed leadership, soaring inflation, high gas prices, rising crime, and party bosses and insiders are funneling over $500,000 to keep Doyle in power. Answering to them, not us. It's time for change. Ryan Hipsch, born and raised here in the Cooley region. Ryan is a fresh voice who will always put our communities first, not the Madison insiders. Ryan Hipsch for Assembly.
You're watching News 8 Now. Expect more.
The Supreme Court is hearing oral arguments in 2 cases challenging affirmative action in college admissions.
As Naomi Ruckham explains, the High Court's now conservative majority could end the use of race as a factor when considering students at public and private universities.
I've heard the word diversity quite a few times, and I don't have a clue what it means.
Affirmative action is on the line at colleges and universities across the nation. Monday, Supreme Court justices heard arguments in 2 pivotal cases from Harvard and the University of North Carolina. Both schools consider race among other factors when admitting students.
When does it end? When is your sunset? When will you know?
The attorney arguing against UNC's policy said while culture could theoretically be considered in admissions, race should not. Liberal Justice Elena Kagan responded.
The race is part of the culture, and the culture is part of the race, isn't it? I mean, that's slicing the bologna awfully thin.
Later, conservative Justice Samuel Alito had this exchange with the attorney defending the UNC policy about when an applicant can identify as part of a minority group.
Let's say the student has one grandparent who falls within that class. Can the student claim to be a member of an underrepresented minority?
Yes, we rely on self-reporting.
One great-great-grandparent. You're going to make me continue to go on. Right.
In the last 20 years, the Supreme Court has upheld affirmative action twice, most recently in 2016. But the court's new solidly conservative majority could lead to a new ruling.
It's overwhelmingly likely / certain that the Supreme Court is going to end race-based affirmative action, as certain as it was that they were going to reverse Roe v. Wade.
Newly appointed Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson, the first black woman to serve on the court, emphasized race was just one factor.
When you give your race, you're not getting any special points. It's being treated just on par with other factors in the system.
The Supreme Court is expected to make a decision next spring. Naomi Ruckham, CBS News.
9 states already prohibit any consideration of race in admissions to public colleges and universities.
Well, up next tonight, it is Halloween night.
And we're going to take you live to West Salem, where one family, they go all out building their own haunted house. You see our Eric Dean is going to take you there.
I'm just saying, I'm a predictor, and that's what I'm predicting. But I will have your 8-day forecast, which if you're a mild weather fan, you're going to like, especially the next couple of days. Details after the break.
'Tis the season for the Menards Enchanted Forest. Take a stroll through a Christmas tradition that goes back over 60 years. We have everything you need to make your home a Christmas winter wonderland, inside or out. Find the perfect outdoor inflatable. Choose your tree. Find the perfect ornaments and garlands. Can't forget the tree topper. Menards Enchanted Forest has all your Christmas needs. Even Santa can't miss out on these savings and selection.
They found my sister's head in a wood-burning stove, her body in a cornfield, murdered by her own husband. The judge called it the most heinous crime he'd ever seen, and the killer was sent to jail for life. But Tony Evers' parole commission set him free, and they didn't even tell us. Under Evers, hundreds of other violent criminals have been released early. It makes no sense. Governor Evers, everyone in Wisconsin is less safe because of you.
I'm gonna get you! Stop chasing your sister!
Making things better is kind of your thing.
There you go, kid.
But when Medicare has you stumped, it's hard to know how to make it better.
Maybe I can help.
Security Health Plan. Medicare coverage you want, value you need, service you love.
I was in law enforcement for over 40 years, and I can't imagine a better attorney general than Josh Kaul. He's a real prosecutor who's locked up murderers, serial rapists, the really dangerous guys you want off the street, and kept them behind bars. And he'll work with anyone, Republican or Democrat, to get it done. Look, there's more we have to do, but the only one I'd want leading the fight against crime is our Attorney General, Josh Kaul.
The news continues on News 8 Now. Expect more.
Well, of course, it is Halloween night, so it is trick-or-treating time, and kids are hitting up every house they can tonight for candy.
They're not the only one. Our very own meteorologist, Eric Dean, is live in West Salem. Not for the candy, though. He is at one family's home where they built an entire haunted house in their front yard. Eric, have you been through yet? Are you brave enough?
Hey, good evening, Ken and Amy. Good evening, everybody. We are here in West Salem with Janelle Pettis. Janelle, how are you this evening?
Good, how are you?
I am doing okay. Hey, I see the setup here. I know you guys are all decked out for Halloween. What all do you have here?
We have a pontoon filled with skeletons and skeleton fish. We also have skeleton turtles. We have a cornfield, farmer's head that talks. We have a grave scene, about 12 blow-ups, and the entire inside of the haunted house is decorated and set up with animatronics.
I cannot wait to see the haunted house. That will be coming up at 6. How long did it take you to set this up?
One whole month. We started Oktoberfest weekend on Saturday the 28th.
And when did you complete this?
Last night.
So if you want to do a visual, let's go check this out and see what all you have here.
Okay. So we have the pontoon on your
on the right.
With all the skeletons and the fish. It has a fishing dock, like you're pulling up to let somebody off.
Okay.
So then we have that there, and then when you keep going forward, we have the hearse, which my son made for his senior exit project. That was pretty fun. And then we have the haunted house behind you with the tubes that shoot the candy down, so the kids are all, COVID.
Okay. All right. And then I'll tell you what, coming up at 6, we'll go more on the other side. This will take a look here at the haunted house. But for now, we'll go ahead and send it back to the desk. I think Bill has a very nice forecast coming up.
Okay.
Sure he does.
All right. I'm not sure what Eric is. Bill, do you know what Eric is?
I'll explain. So he's basically wearing the green screen, which is behind me, even though it's CityCam. So I'm glad Eric's not standing next to me, because if he was, you wouldn't be able to see him. So he could mess with me all he wants.
That's a dangerous power.
Bill, you're going to like this, though. Eric came walking through the newsroom with his costumes. His other choice was a princess.
Yeah, I saw his choices, and they weren't top of the line, but that's what happens. He went shopping for a costume last night. So when you wait till the last second like that, that happens.
That's right.
And by the way, he is going to be trick-or-treating for candy, because we sent him out there to get weather candy for us First Alert Weather Team. So I'm telling you, just a little secret there. All right, this morning was kind of spooky. We had some patchy fog. In fact, it was quite thick at times between about 8 and 10:30 here in the La Crosse area, but that quickly mixed out, and then it was just a spooktacular day across the region, and nice little sunset taking shape with a clear sky. Absolutely perfect evening for trick-or-treating, by the way. 67 was the high after a seasonably chilly start at 34. At 67, though, 13 degrees above average. Not record territory, that's 79 set in 1933, and of course another dry day. It's kind of hard to get rainfall when you don't have any clouds in the sky. 67 degrees, sunshine, 66 downtown here at the station. The wind is calm. The Mississippi dropping 4.87. Good evening to you folks in Eau Claire. Sunshine for you as well. Temperature of 63 degrees, light westerly wind at 5 to 10, and a beautiful day across much of the lower 48. Again, the lack of cold air is once again the main weather story across the country. Temperatures locally in the 60s still, so again, a very pleasant evening for trick-or-treating. In case you missed my trick-or-treating forecast earlier, 60 degrees at 6 p.m., dropping to about 52 by 8 o'clock. Clear and mild conditions. By the way, the sunset time at 5:57 if you want to get those ghosts and goblins in before darkness falls. Winds are calm here. A little bit of a westerly breeze in spots, but not enough to mess with the costume if you have hair going on or a wig or who knows what, or like Eric just dressed in green. High pressure in control, and that's going to bring us dry and warm conditions for the next several days. Clear to partly cloudy tonight, just a few passing clouds. Lots of sunshine for tomorrow, and you'll notice as we head into the day on Wednesday, those winds start to crank up a little bit, but from the south, and that is a warming wind, and temperature is going to be well above average. So far for tonight, clear to partly cloudy, seasonably cool, lows around 39 degrees. 71 tomorrow, lots of sunshine, again well above average. These temperatures more typical of late September, not early November. Lower 70s still for Wednesday and Thursday. Clouds increase Thursday with a chance of rain showers by Thursday night, then a pretty good chance for periodic rain Friday and Saturday especially, maybe lingering into Sunday as we cool back into the 50s for highs, which is just closer to average. And don't forget, daylight saving time comes to an end early Sunday morning. Hey, we get an extra hour of sleep, though.
Okay.
We turn those clocks back.
That's right, fall back. Okay, I was like, oh man,
No,
but
we'll
okay,
take
now
those.
okay.
This is
I'm okay
this
with
is a
it.
good turn.
Thanks, Bill.
All right, coming up, we're going to meet the recipient of Winona Teacher of the Year.
We'll detail how her students and colleagues made her Halloween extra special.
Fall Home Show going on now at the Board Store. Visit today and see what's new and get your $250 discount coupon. Register for prizes and visit with designers. Hope to see you soon.
He pushed tax loopholes benefiting himself. Send him back, and he'll make things worse. Ron Johnson would let Wisconsin ban abortion, even in cases of rape, and said if you don't like it, you can move. He voted to raise the retirement age and wants to end guaranteed spending on the Social Security you earned.
Social Security is a legal Ponzi scheme, but that's exactly what it is.
Ron Johnson, still making it harder on us. SMP is responsible for the content of this ad.
No two sets of eyes are the same, and nothing should keep them from getting the expert eye care they need. That's why we'll cover your cost of your insurance copay or your eye exam. Schedule your eye exam at pearlvision.com.
As an Army commander, I served God, family, and country. But the media, they say none of that matters anymore. When I was 9 years old, my dad handed me a shovel and put me to work. Nowadays, people get paid to sit on the couch. I'm Tim Michaels. I'm not some career politician. I'm a self-made businessman who doesn't give a rip about the special interests or their money. I'm running for governor to turn Madison upside down and take back the freedoms that make Wisconsin great.
Tim Michaels for governor.
Never miss the bus again with the new La Crosse MTU mobile app. Search City of La Crosse MTU in your app store and start planning your trip today. See your bus in real time or click a stop to see your next arrival. Download today.
When your back pain is your foot's fault. This is Dean's story.
I had back pain and I honestly didn't know where to go.
Until a friend suggested the Good Feet store.
She had to explain to me the feet are connected to the back.
And get this.
As soon as I put on those Good Feet arch supports, the pressure lifted off my back. It's like finding that missing puzzle piece. Like, yes, this is it.
Stop by for your free fitting at the Good Feet store.
Thank you for watching News 8 Now. Expect more.
A Winona Elementary School kicked off Halloween celebrations with a special surprise.
The Winona Education Association announced its Teacher of the Year this morning, and the recipient had no idea the assembly was for her. Kristen Schultz teaches 3rd grade at Jefferson Elementary School, and she says winning this award reminds her of why she started teaching.
I have always wanted to be a teacher since 3rd grade, and this is my 31st year of teaching, and I have taught 3rd grade most of them, and I love being with the students every day. I love the excitement when they come to school and they want to be here.
Each year, teachers nominate a colleague they think deserves the award, and once the nominees have filled out a questionnaire, a committee will select the lucky winner. One teacher and committee members say it can be difficult to select a teacher that stands out from the rest, but Schultz's dedication makes her special.
She's been in this building actually for a very long time. So there's lots of elementary students who have been part of her life, and she's dedicated so much to our district and to our buildings and to our kids.
So this is pretty cool. Schultz's mom, brother, husband, and daughter all came from out of town to support her and be there for the big surprise.
That
Congratulations.
is so cool.
That's very cool.
Awesome.
Very cool.
We'll be right back to wrap things up.
This is fentanyl, so dangerous that one pill kills. They make it in China, smuggle it through Mexico. Across our border that Joe Biden surrendered to cartels and gangs. Brad Path backs Biden's open border agenda 100%. Fentanyl killed 1,200 people last year in Wisconsin alone. Now every town is a border town. Path won't stop the drugs, so we have to stop Brad Path.
I'm Derek Van Orden, and I approve this message.
Under Tony Evers and Joe Biden, it's been bad, but it's gonna get much worse because winter is coming. That's right. Reports say natural gas heating bills are going up by 28%. Inflation has already caused pain at the pump, grocery checkouts, on rent. But this fall, there's still time to stop the winter pain by voting no on Tony Evers before he makes it even worse, if that's possible.
I see your hard work, everything you do to try to make it, but people continue to be left behind. I'm running for Senate to put more money in your pocket. Ron Johnson's had 12 years to make things better, but costs are still rising, and all he's managed to do is write a tax cut for himself. I believe better is possible. I believe hard work can pay off, and I'll never stop fighting until it does. I'm Mandela Barnes, and I approve this message.
Chevy Silverado. It's got the power you want and the capability you need to do the job so you can get to the important work. Find new moments, find new roads. Get $500 cash allowance on this Silverado with a 2.7-liter engine. Plus, current Chevy owners can get an additional $2,500 cash allowance. Plus, get a $1,000 accessory allowance toward a new Chevy truck with accessories.
Madison insider and career politician Steve Doyle, completely out of touch. Under Doyle's failed leadership, soaring inflation, high gas prices, rising crime, and party bosses and insiders are funneling over $500,000 to keep Doyle in power, answering to them, not us. It's time for change. Ryan Hipsch, born and raised here in the Cooley region. Ryan is a fresh voice who will always put our communities first, not the Madison insiders. Ryan Hipsch for Assembly.
His job was to serve and protect. Instead, reports say Dave Estenson assaulted and preyed on girls for years. One report of sexually assaulting a teenager. Multiple reports of Estenson trying to coerce girls into sexual favors to avoid citations. And Estenson wants to ban all abortions, forcing victims of rape and incest to carry their predator's child. Sexual predators belong behind bars, not in the state Senate.
Again, just a beautiful evening for trick-or-treating. Clear skies, temperatures still in the 60s. We'll drop to about 52 or so at 8 p.m. Overnight lows in the upper 30s to around 40 degrees. Still quite warm to start November. 71 tomorrow, lower 70s for Wednesday and Thursday.
These warm temperatures.
It's like you can't believe it this time of year.
Yeah, it's amazing. Thanks, Bill. Thanks for joining us.
We appreciate your time. We hope you'll join us again at 6.